Yeah, couple more. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to hit a one-handed backhand with the saber. Let's begin. Step number 1 is the unit turn. But before we can get a good unit turn, we need a good ready position. So here's how you're going to set yourself up for success. Your elbows should be up and away from your body, and you should be able to shoot a basketball in this space. The butt of the racket's in line with your belly button, and the tip of the racket is just below eye level, not impairing our vision. Now, we're going to take the non-hitting hand and using our pointer finger on the string bed, our thumb on one side of the throat, and our other fingers on the other side of the throat, we're going to change the grip as we turn, keeping our elbows relatively in the same spot that they were. So at this point in the swing, we want to avoid taking the racket back, okay? Pretend that the butt of the racket is glued with an imaginary string to your belly button, and it all has to move as a unit. So when I turn and I pivot 90 degrees, I'm going to change the grip as well. And when I get to here, when I get sideways with my upper body and also sideways with the hips, we want the hitting elbow to tuck in against our chest. Now, the angle we get here is very important. A lot of people at this point in the swing will have the arm straight, or they'll have it down here, okay, like they're about to pull a gun out of a holster. You don't want to do that. You want to keep this bent at a 90-degree angle. We could draw a letter U, and this is the racket position. It's very important also is that our wrist is up and fixed. I call this letter L for leverage. You'll know if you're doing this, the tip of your racket or the tip of your saber is pointing up to the sky. Now, that's the position for this arm, and we want to keep it glued into our stomach until the last second when it's time to go. Now, the position of the back arm should be as follows. The armpit position. We've got another 90-degree angle, and please make sure that you're taking showers and wearing deodorant, or else people aren't going to want to be near you on the court. Now, from here, we want to turn until the front shoulder is underneath the chin. That's our indicator to know that we've turned enough in order to get power on the one-handed backhand. Now, the next part is taking a step out with the front foot and letting the racket free fall to the height of the ball. As we get ready to do this, we want to make sure that we shift our weight onto the outside leg, and we delay the front step by getting up on our toe with this leg. Now from here, as we step with the front foot, heel to toe, the racket's going to simultaneously free fall into the slot. You'll know if you're doing this properly if your strings are pointing towards the back fence and if your racket is parallel with the baseline, if you're hitting straight ahead. Now, you're almost ready to explode into the shot, but hold up. Not just yet. Make sure that you don't pop up with your legs. It's counterintuitive, but on the one-handed backhand, we want to feel like we hit and freeze with the legs. So while you hit through your contact point, pretend there's a ceiling, a roof above your head that you're going to hit if you pop up. Our shifting of body weight is going to be from the back foot to the front foot. And at the end of the swing, we're finishing with our chest, our head, our body weight leaning over our front toe. Now, with this in mind, here's how the rest of the swing is going to go. From the slot, we're going to let go with the non-hitting hand around our back pocket. This is where we release, and make sure not to just forget about this arm. It's not just dead weight. we're going to use it to stay sideways and stay on balance. So we need to fire it back as soon as we let go of the racket and spread the wings. Now at contact point, we need to have levers for leverage. Straight arms are going to be your power. A bent arm is a no-no. So make sure that this arm goes out and away from your body and it's fully extended. Now don't wrist roll your one-handed backhand, especially with the saber. You want to keep the racket head above the hand the entire time. We actually want the wrist up and fixed. As we keep the wrist up all the way through contact point, we go out and away as far as possible, feeling like we're cracking through an imaginary glass window, and then we come up the hill and we stay sideways. And once the ball has left our strings, we're free to recover back. And well, if you do the steps that I showed you, you're going to hit a winner. So there isn't even going to be a next ball for you to worry about. I hope you enjoyed this video, and although it is satire, the things that I mentioned may actually make a huge difference on your one-handed backhand, and you can apply them even without a saber, and I promise you, you should see some serious pop and leverage over the shot. In any event, thanks for tuning in, and use what you've learned to modernize your game. If you like what you learned here, I recommend taking the next step and going into my online course, because it takes these concepts and builds on them and shows you a complete system for enjoying tennis for the rest of your life. You can get started by clicking the link down in the description, and you can sign up on my website.